This is MikeBot. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Bambu Lab A1 combo. I know I had said in a previous video that I would not go back to bed slingers, but the price of this thing is too good of an offer to pass up, and I wanted to add one final printer to my print farm. So here we are. So I'm going to start by doing the unboxing, quick little setup, and then I'm going to place it in its final place, do a quick little tour. I also purchased a bunch of spare parts and accessories, so this is going to be a two-part video. Part one is unboxing of the A1 combo setup. Part two will be the accessories that I purchased for it. The one accessory I will show right now is the SD card. So this thing comes with a 32GB micro SD, terrible quality. As I've seen with the X1C and P1Ps, the card is absolute crap. It's slow, it crashes, not great. So I've been getting myself high-end cards for these machines, and this one's gonna get the 512GB micro SD. So I'm gonna go ahead, reposition my camera, and start the unboxing. So I'm just gonna start by cutting away all this tape here. Pair of scissors. So I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this in a previous video, but make sure you keep your box for at least 1 year. If your printer is defective or something goes horribly wrong, they need you to send it back with the original box. The nice thing about the A1 is it's pretty much fully assembled. There's not really much work to it. It just works right out of the box, and it's a really simple beginner's printer. It's not like the other ones that require a bit of tinkering. Either way, it's still better than any printer on the market. Comparable to this, I guess, would be the Prusa, but maybe the Anchor Make. I've had two Anchor Makes. Look at my videos, they're garbage. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this out. So for those of you new to 3D printing, or you're here just to see what the A1 combo looks like, the price in Canadian is $720 for the full A1 with the AMS Lite unit. The AMS Lite unit's only capable of 4 colors. It can't be expanded to 8 or more. The A1 Mini, I believe, is $390 Canadian. When you add the AMS, I think it's an extra 200 bucks. If you don't get the AMS with this, it's about 520, I believe, instead of 720. So anyway, I'm gonna lower the camera so we can get a better view here, and I will start taking the bag out. So as usual, Bambu does a crazy job with the packaging. You want to make sure it arrives in one piece. Move this bubble wrap. So like I said, make sure you save your bubble wrap and all that stuff in case your printer is a lemon or it needs to be returned for whatever reason. So first thing we have here is the build plate, and it feels like a spring sheet. Spring steel. Oh, nice. It's the new PEI gold plate. So when you see part two, you'll see the other accessories I bought with this as well. You also have here instructions booklet. I'll just pull it up for the sake of this video. We got your guidelines here. Your book to set up, tells you what comes in it. So basically comes with the A1, the frame, the AMS Lite, the cables, the purge wiper, rotary tool, accessory box. Anyway, a bunch of interesting stuff. And then it tells you what's in the accessory box and how to assemble this printer. So I guess this one isn't fully assembled. Looks similar to the Anchor Make with setup, which is like 4 screws. We'll get to that in a second. Oh, sweet. Okay, so the reason I said sweet came with this swatch pack. I actually bought one of these recently, and I lost one of the packs. Oh, are you kidding me right now? So yeah, it comes with this swatch pack, which is really nice. I just bought one of these two in my accessory pack, which you're gonna see in the part 2 video. I wish I would have gotten the jet engine now. So that's a pretty nice added bonus. I did not expect these two. These here are about, I think, a $30 value combined. We have all the AMS Lite things here. Okay, so let's start with taking out the base for the AMS Lite. Pull out the rollers here. I did not realize that the AMS Lite needed assembly. Then I'll open the accessory pack here. So in the accessory pack you have basically all the screws that you need, the Allen keys, some grease, wipers, all that stuff. We'll put that aside because I'm going to be needing that in just a second. That's it for the first layer. So now layer 2, we have power cable. Looks like this is part of the AMS or the device. Piece here. This is the wiper. And the actual AMS Lite, this thing is cheap. It's funny. I have 5 real AMS units, so looking at the AMS Lite is kind of funny. I think that's it here. Now we get to the fun stuff. So super dry pack here. Really? So apparently this is the filament sample they give you now. They stopped giving like half spools. Very gentle here. I don't know how this thing. It's really well packaged. I need to pull this out gently. Some PTFE tubing. All right, so looks like this is going to be a little more hands-on assembly than I expected. So this video will now include assembly. So don't grab or press on the X-axis. Obviously you'll damage it. That just pops right off. And just move the base out of the way for a sec. Okay, pretty cool. Looks a lot better than the Anchor Make, I can tell you that. And you got all your wiring here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the assembly now. And I will probably start with the A1 and then I will do the AMS afterwards. So first things first, it tells you to install the build plate. So let me move that out of the way. Move that, like so. Does this screen tilt? I don't know, I don't want to break it. Okay, so first things first, we need to remove the plastic film on the plate here. Failing to do so will probably cause it to melt and maybe cause some damage. It's really hard to do with the camera in the way, by the way. So you're welcome, everyone, for me making this video. With that said, please subscribe to my channel. It's greatly appreciated, and it helps me out in more ways than you can imagine. It's really on there good. I don't know if it's because it's cold outside and I was in the delivery truck all morning. So while I'm removing this plastic film, I will mention this plate seems really, really solid. I know some of them are warped with previous printers I've had. Anchor. and reality. Excuse me. So it's nice to see a solid plate here. All right, that's all removed. Now we'll put the build plate on. So it looks like it doesn't have little clips for the build plate, like the P1S, P1P, and X1 series. So I'm gonna have to print something that'll help me align the plate. I'm sure it exists by now. The A1's been around long enough. All right, so next, we need to flip the A1 like so. Careful not to drop it. It looks like there's gonna be 4 screws. Whoa. So it looks like there's gonna be 4 screws that go there. So basically what these screws do, they hold the build plate in place for shipping purposes. So I'm gonna look for the correct Allen key here and remove the screws to unlock the build plate. I like that they started adding little handles on the Allen keys. That's nice. Okay, so be careful because now the build plate can swing. Don't force it. Next step, we need to install the plate onto the frame. So I'm gonna just make some adjustments here so we can capture everything on camera. All right, so here, we're gonna need to tilt this 45 degrees and then line it up like so. And slowly lower the base. So now you just make sure it's flush, like so. Okay, so now that the base is flush with this, we can remove the rest of the zip ties. Be careful not to cut any of the wires by accident. You will regret it. So there should be a total of 7 zip ties and 2 foam paddings, which I believe I've removed them all. So from here, we need to push the heated bed all the way to the front towards the screen, like so. Next, we want to open the Y-axis cover and pull out the Y-axis cover gently. So let's tilt this around like so. There's a little nub here, and then you just basically lift up and pull like so. Put that aside somewhere where it's not going to break or get damaged. So now we see a bunch of holes highlighted in green here, and we're going to need to install all the different screws that came in the pack here. So the screws you're going to want are the ones for the base housing, and it says it right on the package. And there's a total of 10. I'll just show everyone where that is. So here are, so that's where all the screws go, and then there's a couple more where the bed is right here. We have to pull it back afterwards. So I'm just gonna go ahead and install these screws and then resume the video. Magically, just like that, screws are installed here. So now we'll do the same up here. There's 2 more slots right there. Let's do a little camera magic. And just like that, the screws are installed in the front and back. So now we want to push the heated bed all the way to the front again. And then we want to put this cover back in. Same way you took it out, slide it in, and then snap it down gently. Make sure the clips are aligned and everything's good. So next, we want to flip the A1 over, and then we're going to connect the cabling. Okay, so next what we want to do is we want to take this and align it accordingly, like so. So it just slips right in there, and then cable it up and screw it in. So there are 2 clips here. 1, 2, and you want to align them perfectly with that. And then it just clips right in like so. So you push in, slide up, and that locks it in. And basically what that does is a Type-C USB-C cable here, and it lines up and clicks into there. So make sure it's nice and flush, and then you want to screw in the pre-installed screw there. And that locks it all in. So now everything is color coded, and you want to just plug everything in accordingly. So the X-axis motor goes in there, the camera cable goes in here, very easy. And then we still have a Z motor cable somewhere. Where is it? Up there it is. So it's all the way down here. Just undo the tape. Make sure you don't drop this. You're supposed to balance it on the table, but it's not exactly safe. So now we're gonna grab the cable here, and we're supposed to route it through this thing here. So it gave you a nice little slot to route it through to make it look clean. Before I lock it in, I just want to get that cable in there. Insert it in. Just like that, it's all wired up. So now that's all tucked in, nice, everything's secure. Now we're ready to flip it back over. Okay, so next, you want to rotate the screen. Actually, I made a mistake here when I installed the plate. It's supposed to go in like that. So now we want to rotate the screen. So now we want to look for the purge wiper right here. It's a little sticker on the camera. Now you want to pull that off. Don't forget to take it off. So now we want to install this so it clips right in at the bottom. Purge wipe tower goes in over here. Okay, so save yourself a headache. Put your screw in. Have it dangle there. It'll make it easier when you're putting the screw in. So slide the wiper in. And then let me turn this. So once the wiper has slid in like so, you're gonna take your last screw and screw it in. Okay, and once that last screw is in, that's it. The A1 is set up and ready to go. Now we are going to install the AMS body. So now the A1 is all complete. He's ready to go. So now we're gonna do the AMS Lite next. All right, start by grabbing your AMS stand screws and get all your parts set out accordingly. So step one is to take the AMS stand and the AMS body and sliding them in like so. So now you secure the body with the 4 screws here using the Allen key. So I will go ahead and do that. So basically you have 4 screws. You can see the holes here. Make sure it's lined up perfectly. Put 4 screws in, 2 on each side. And then we'll proceed to the next step. All right, now that the AMS stand has been screwed in, next you want to put the rotary parts in, and you need to make sure to align them perfectly. They've even given you shapes and colors for each one. So I believe the yellow, there's no specific order, just yellow goes into yellow, green goes into green, and you want to make sure you do it perfectly. So I'll just show everyone again here really quick what I'm doing. So basically, there's a little yellow shape in there, and you want to line it up with this shape here, and then it just slides in all the way, and it just clicks right in. It's kind of foolproof, but I shouldn't say foolproof because people make mistakes sometimes. And that's it for that part. So this here looks like it's the spool holder. I don't think I'm gonna need it since I have the AMS unit, so I'm just gonna set that aside for now. All right, so now you wanna put the AMS unit on the right side of the A1, and next part is the PTFE tubing. So grab your bag of PTFE tubes, and then follow what I'm about to tell you. All right, so it looks like they've installed a little organizer on this already for you. Same with here. So the organizer end goes in here, and you can clip them in any way you like on this end. It's the other end that kind of, you need to follow the rules accordingly. I'm not going to be mounting my AMS Lite on top of my A1. Some of you might. I did buy the kit to mount it, but I've decided not to for the time being. So you need to look at these cables. The two longer cables go into slots 3 and 4, and the shorter ones go into 1 and 2. I'm just gonna go ahead and install the PTFE tubing into the AMS Lite. So remember, long cables to 3 and 4, short cables to 1 and 2. These 4 ends go in there, no particular order, but depends on how you want to organize yourself. So I'll just get those installed, and then we'll proceed to the final step. All right, so my PTFE tubing is in the AMS Lite. So for the record, when you want to remove these, don't pull, you will destroy them. It's going to be expensive to replace. You want to press down gently on the black part here. You can just press on it and feel it, and then it releases the clip. Same with this end. Press gently on the black part, and it releases. Anyway, I'm not gonna mess with it right now because I want to get my first prints on the A1 going shortly. All right, so it looks like they gave me a spare PTFE tube. I am not sure why, but I have a spare tube. So the last step here is basically plugging the AMS unit into this and putting the power on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that in its final resting place and resume the video there, but otherwise we're all done here. So I'll grab the accessory kit here again. So this is an organizer, this little thing here, it's a spare. You got another Allen key, probably for troubleshooting or removing the front tool head cover, which looks pretty easy to change nozzles. And they even gave you a spare wiper. There's also a couple needles here for clogs. No spare hot ends. And then you got your filament cutters right here as well. So needles, cutters, and then scraper. You're gonna need to print the scraper. It'll probably be the first print I do. And grease and so on and so forth. So print yourself a new case or just keep this one. Put it aside somewhere for safekeeping. And then they gave you some screws for when you actually print that scraper. Okay, so before I move everything over to its resting place, I'll just mention the SD card. So the SD card, there's a little slot right here. I just removed the tape, and this is the 32 gig card it came with. I'm gonna leave the card in there for now because I wanna print the scraper. Once I print the scraper, I'm gonna insert this card into there, format it, and all that. I'm not gonna do a video on adding this to Bambu Handy. I have several other videos on that already, so feel free to check them out. Anyway, I'll go put this in the basement in my 3D printing room, put some spools in, resume the video, start a test print, and then stay tuned for part 2. If you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'm very quick to respond. I do this as a hobby for fun, so subscribing is just your way of saying thank you to me. All right, so I've placed my A1 in its enclosure that I built for it. As you can see, I've already printed a poop chute with one of my other P1Ps. I've also printed a little enclosure for my Wise 3 camera, and I've installed the filament. So now I'm gonna power it on for the first time. All right, so first thing the screen says is unleash your creativity. The AMS is booted up, so I'm gonna click start. Select English, North America. And now it wants me to select Wi-Fi, so I'm just gonna do that. Apparently it doesn't need you to select it through the app. So I obviously skipped the part where I put my Wi-Fi password in and all that, but touch screen, extremely responsive, Wi-Fi, boom, connects just like that. That's a big improvement over the P1Ps. Okay, now I'm just gonna scan the Bambu Handy app, the barcode on the A1 to the Bambu Handy app so I can officially add my printer in. So it's just scanning right now for printers. Okay, so I've scanned it. Now I'm just gonna bind the printer. to the Bambu Handy app, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start my first print. It logged in. P1Ps for the longest time would give me trouble. I'd have to try like 200 different times. I don't think I'm exaggerating that number as well. So now we've logged in successfully, and I can see my A1 on the screen here. So I'm just gonna click stream just to see what the camera looks like. Okay. This is obviously in the way. So I'm just gonna move that out of the way. And there's the camera screaming. So now I'm just gonna adjust. Now I'm just gonna go into the settings before I do the firmware update. Just gonna enable AI. Enable all the AMS settings, and then I'm just gonna program all my filaments in, and then I'm gonna do a firmware update. Okay, so right now I'm gonna do the calibration on the screen. Once that calibration's done, I'm gonna do a firmware update, and then I'm gonna start my first print. So look for a YouTube short on the first print with the A1. But other than that, that's it for today's video. So I'm just gonna hit start for calibration. And let it do its thing. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. So we did the unboxing. That's a feature. So we did the unboxing. We set up the AMS Lite and the A1, placed it, doing a calibration. Hopefully my printer is not defective. So once the calibration is done and everything does its thing, I'll do my test prints. Look out for YouTube shorts. Check out part 2 coming soon. The part 2 video will be about accessories and all the miscellaneous stuff I bought for it. They haven't come in yet, that's why I didn't throw them into this video. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. You have any questions or comments, leave them below. I always respond to them. Thank you all for watching today. Make sure to subscribe. Mike Bot, out.